facilities are inflating gas prices. And the Israeli president today issued another blow in the ongoing war of words between Israel and Iran. The Israeli President Shimon Peres reiterated today that Israel is keeping, quote, all options on the table for Iran. He also said if Iran gets a nuclear weapon, quote, it would be impossible to prevent it from exporting terror freely or stop it from controlling the world economy. Sources say the White House has yet to decide exactly how to respond should Israel attack Iran. Israeli leaders are set to meet with President Obama in Washington next month. New developments now. Jen Griffin at the Pentagon. Now it seems the European Union is pushing to cut off Iranian banks from a key banking network, making it more difficult for the regime to move money around, tightening the grip here.
Well, that's right. This is really an unprecedented move to try and strangle the Iranian economy, and it comes just one day after Tehran essentially rebuffed those UN weapons inspectors, those nuclear inspectors who had arrived to look at their nuclear sites. They sent them back to Vienna empty-handed. The European Union is now preparing to cut Iran's banks off from using the financial clearinghouse used by every country in the world, the SWIFT system. This will essentially halt them from being able to wire money. This comes as a new report out of Washington from a former UN weapons inspector is getting a lot of attention.
Our information corroborates the IA findings about a parallel military nuclear program. What our report ultimately is an attempt to get Iran to open up and reveal more information about its past nuclear activities.
And today, reports from Vienna, from the IAEA, is that Iran appears to be moving further underground with that enrichment activity, Shep.
And more evidence of further noose tightening. The United Kingdom set to extradite one of its citizens to the United States.
That's right. It looks like the UK is preparing to extradite a British citizen, a 65-year-old businessman by the name of Christopher Tappan, who allegedly tried to sell missile parts to two undercover American agents who were posing as Iranian buyers. The batteries for Hawk missiles, the UK and US have a fast-tracked extradition treaty after 9/11. Tappan will be tried in Texas. Shep.
Jennifer Griffin at the Pentagon. Jennifer, thank you. Judith Miller is with us, winning journalist, Fox News contributor, and it's Judy's reporting today that this all options are still on the table is not really true.
Well, I think the Israelis well understand the limitations of their military capability. In fact, there was a report in Haaretz today that Shimon Peres wanted to tell President Obama that Israel doesn't really have an effective military option, and he was forced to walk it back because the Israelis want to scare the Iranians into making a deal.
But you can't scare the Iranians into making a deal if the Iranians know as well as you do that there really is no military option.
That's true.
The wool over your eyes does not hide the reality. It just makes it so that you can't see it. We'll get to that with Judy Miller right after a commercial break. Also, 2 U.S. military for the Israelis in Iran. Could they, if they felt they must, take out the Iranian nuclear program? Sounds like the answer is no. The Pulitzer Prize-winning journalist and Fox News contributor Judith Miller is here. She's an adjunct professor, or I should say an adjunct fellow at the Manhattan Institute, a public policy think tank, and she just returned from a trip to the Mideast and Gaza. And Haaretz newspaper is one that we all look at on a regular basis to get updated over there, and it was pretty clear.
Yeah, they said that the President, Shimon Peres, was definitely going to tell Barack Obama that he was opposed to a military strike because Israel itself could not inflict enough damage. Now, what the Israelis want is for the Israelis and the United States to take military action if Iran crosses a red line.
Well, and wonder what that red line might be.
Well, the red line for Israel is a lot sooner than the American red line. Basically, the Iranians are just up to it right now. I mean, we're looking at the possibility of military action very soon, and surely before the end of the year, if the Israeli assessment is correct.
We had these assessments before Iraq, and you'll forgive an American population for being, please don't put me in another war over something that you fibbed about to me.
Yes, but
or you were mistaken about, whatever the reality is. I think mistaken is probably, I don't know, but I mean, whatever. I'll give them the benefit. Why not?
That's what they say.
Yeah, well,
and, you know, this is the hardest information, Shep, to know about. That's the problem.
Sure.
You have to be inside the Iranian nuclear program or inside the Council of the Mullahs to really know what's going on. We don't have that kind of information, but we do know that there are other things that are being done that are really hurting the Iranians, that are really putting them off their game. They're making all kinds of erratic statements about, for example, the Ayatollah yesterday at a university said, well, you know, we could actually strike first to prevent the Israelis from striking us.
Oh, yeah, it was our lead last night.
And as a Pentagon official said to me, make our day. I mean, they would really love the Iranians to do something that stupid and to give the Americans and the Israelis a justification for doing what some hardliners want to do already.
Do you think there's even the remotest of remote possibilities that the United States would do something military? I mean, forgive me, but North Korea has this weapon. China has this weapon. Why is it the end of the world if the Iranians get this weapon?
That might be the way it looks to us.
Well, it doesn't look that way to me. But why are they presenting it as an end of the world situation?
Because to Israel, it seems like the end of the world, and it could be the end of the world, or certainly the end of their country. They say, we are a one-bomb country. We can't take the chance that the Iranians can develop the capability to break out, throw the inspectors out, build a bomb, and use it against us, or worse, give it to Hezbollah in Lebanon or to Hamas in Gaza, because they may have a very different calculation about the cost of the use of such a weapon. This is the hardest of all areas to make policy in. The White House is very, very torn. I think there are different opinions,
White House
even within the White House.
For decades, every White House has
been. But this White House has done more than any other to really put the squeeze on Iran. The sanctions are truly hurting. I mean, the Iranian economy is just in free fall. The currency is 30 to 40% depressed. The Ayatollah is very worried about unrest and a repetition of the uprising in 2009 that he saw. This is a very difficult situation for Iran, too. And remember, their scientists are being killed by someone. Their missile facilities are being blown up. So when they strike back, and we portray this as an aggressive action to the Iranians, they say, no, the covert war against our nuclear program is being waged already. We're fighting back. This is, I think Obama deserves a lot of credit for marshaling tremendous support, international support against the Iranian nuclear weapons program. The Iranians say our program is peaceful. Show us that it's not.
Whatever.
And that's where we stand.
Well, life is complicated, isn't it, Judy?
It's very complicated. I'm glad I don't have to make the decision.
Oh, I am too. That would put you in all kinds of danger.
I know.
Thank you, Ms. Miller. It's nice to see you.
Thank you, Mr.
Smith.